And here we go, there's the target ship of opportunity, the motor vessel Katie, that has $250 million worth of Canadian Army kit on board. We've been ordered to track it until the government decides what they're going to do with it. We just finished coming up on a high-speed pass at 22 knots. Now we're holding off on its starboard beam so they can get a good look at us. And then we're going to tuck in behind and wait for HMCS Montreal to join us. And the two of us will harry her into port.
Morning Athabaskan, next here with morning announcements. This morning Athabaskan in Montreal continues surveillance of the GTS Katie. Katie remains at anchor 100 nautical miles south of the Avalon Peninsula. Last night, Athabaskan received the word that we will embark 2 Sea helicopters later today. Therefore, the hangar will have to be prepared first thing this morning to embark the halos. The cockpit and Sergeant Renee will coordinate this effort. Later in the day, of course, the commanding officer will provide updated information on the tactical situation. However, I just want to stress that off security is essential at this time, and therefore the outgoing email service will be postponed until further notice. The understanding and support is appreciated this time. One last point for those of you who are nearing the end of your medication, they feel when they arrive this morning, we'll be bringing that medication up from Halifax. So, of course, that is good news. With regards to training, later in the day, we'll continue the training for the boarding party and the escort group. Details of the training program will be piped a little later this morning. That is all.
The CO we got here.
Tension increases. There lies the Katie, about 12 miles away, still anchored in international waters. The newspapers have the full story of what's happening. We're still in the dark. Rumors are flying throughout the ship of what is happening. We received one Sea King helicopter about an hour ago, and there's another one coming in the morning. Also, Labrador helicopter is coming. Rumors abound. What else is happening? Tugboats coming out. Joint Task Force 2. What kind of air assets? This is the big thing. Our captain is busy on the bridge 20 hours a day, pacing back and forth. Meanwhile, we're running low on fuel, movies, and milk. So far, we're still good in toothpaste, cornflakes, the calm before the storm. What kind of tension lurks behind the hearts and minds of these sailors on the eve of the Katie's invasion? Notice the men in dark blue coveralls. They're our boarding party. They'll be the first wave in.
I think it'll be an accomplishment to get my CDs in the Navy.
Yeah.
I bet you I'll be the first one in the fleet.
We can. But those kind of stuff. Well, fucking last light, man. He never ever do.
We're doing this to ensure that we have maximum daylight to continue operations throughout the day tomorrow. So again, at this stage, it's simply a precautionary measure that we're taking, contingency ops, to ensure that we are set to go at first light tomorrow morning, to ensure Athabaskan has maximum daylight that should be required to conduct operations throughout the day. So once again, a wakey at 0530 with boarding stations at 0600. That is all.
Done, and the ship having been taken over for some time. Parts of this are going to go very well. Other parts are going to be confusing. That's the nature of it. Especially when the boarding party is on board, having to use their wits to figure out how to get into a bridge that may be barricaded, for example. The bottom line, of course, will be that there'll be some confusing moments as we try and sort things out. But overall, it will be a successful day. What I need in all of the working areas, the bridge, the hangar, 50 cal mounts, anywhere else that's involved in this operation, including ops, is no one doing anything except focused on the mission no talking, except what's required for the passing of orders and information. And when things go right, I expect that to be received quietly, because I don't want to be distracted from what's going to go wrong next. So, straightforward professionalism for the next hour and a half until till the boarding goes in, and then there are going to be several hours, perhaps 3 or 4, of mixed successes and confusion, which will require all of our concentration. We are going to be very busy until sunset tonight, all of us. And by sunset, we'll have what the Government of Canada wants, which is a vessel under arrest. That's all.
Boat watch, Mr. Dubman, close up. All non-essential personnel are to remain clear of the aviaducts in the bridge. Address entities, negative caps.
The Navy's newest supply ship, HMCS Katie. Yeah, keeping the upper decks out of bounds now is kind of meaningless. And that's leaving from the park. Who's the guy in the back there, I wonder? Oh, from the citizens. Oh, yeah. From where? Oh, the Ottawa citizen, yeah.
Oh, I just read that.
Dennis, are you having fun? Ian? Where's HMCS Katie at? Yeah. A seabird. Flying stations.
Yeah, the chief goes looking at a dinner. That's what I said. You gotta get out of here. A few more days to be the main course.
The planning that we've done for the previous week in every detail proved out its utility today. Our organization was certainly flexible and responsive to what happened. The changing availability of aircraft and ships, and the result was that we had a very limited window between the arrival of an aircraft and the onset of fog, and we're in about 100-yard fog now, in which to execute the mission. And our ability to do it the second the aircraft arrived is what allowed us to complete everything by the time sunset occurred. I think the entire undertaking could not have been smoother, but for some of the comments made by the master on marine radio amounting to accusations of piracy, and his initial welcome for the boarding party, which was hostile, at least for public consumption.
Drink with me, drink to the glory of victory.
In short, we managed in a matter of a couple of days to reintegrate well, in one day, reintegrate an air department, wind up with 2 Sea Kings on board for the first time in a long time, and also take charge of a group of ships and aircraft in a role that befits the flagship, taking charge of Montreal, Ville de Quebec, as well as Aurora, Buffalo, Labrador, and Sea Kings. And all smoothly done in a tactical situation that unfolded just as planned. I participated in a news conference this afternoon, run out of Ottawa with the Minister, NDHQ staff, and me as your representative. The Minister laid out the reasons why this had to be done quite clearly. NDHQ staff laid out the planning, and I was able to give the color commentary on just how well the teams had performed in doing the job. I've already received verbal calls from the Admiral relaying the congratulations from CMS for a job well done. I think you'll see that the ship and the other assets here will all figure in every newspaper across Canada tomorrow morning. And rightly so. Now, the job isn't finished yet. The GTS Katie is a mile ahead of us, following a nav track on her way up the St. Lawrence River now, or towards the St. Lawrence River, at 11 knots. From information we've received previously, we know that she would have been an anchor tonight, would have stayed there for a long time, trapping the equipment we have on board, making sure that it was not available for the Army for upcoming missions, not available to be reconditioned and returned to service. Instead, she's a mile ahead of us on the nav track at the speed that she's contracted for, which is 12 knots. Master's attitude has changed with the arrival of the XO on board. He's returned to being the professional mariner one would expect, and has extended every courtesy to the boarding party, accepting fully the jurisdiction of Canada in this matter, and the fact that we are a legal representative of the government. So the boarding party is being well treated, and the others who've gone over to improve the relationship and make sure that the ship will follow the nav track are also being well cared for. They'll spend the night there, and then tomorrow morning we'll determine whether we send part of Montreal's boarding party over to relieve, or merely let the boarding party continue. And of course it depends how well they're being treated, what we do. How long are we going to be out here? Must be the obvious question, I guess, at this point. The Navy has committed to escort this vessel as far as at least Les Escoumins, which is the pilot station at the entrance of the St. Lawrence River, where one picks up a St. Lawrence pilot. I expect that at the present speed, with no complications, we should be there sometime on Saturday. There'd be a requirement to find a port to fuel, probably Sept-Îles, fuel, and then return to Halifax. Likely, well, I guess there's good news and bad news. The good news is nobody's going to have to stand a double watch down at the museum. We're letting the tourists come through over the long weekend. The bad news is because we aren't going to be home until Monday, is my guess. But perhaps most importantly, we won't have finished our work until we turn over the ship at the pilot station at Les Escoumins. So we got 48 hours worth of shepherding to complete before the job is really finished. But I should close merely by saying well done, and repeating how proud I am of the actions of this ship today. That's all.